Yo, 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 coming to you live on this holy weekend from Titletown, USA, Louisiana, and various other parts of the country. It is Crossover Sports Podcast, episode 77. We about to kill it tonight. Kill it tonight. We should have a returning Tristiania, but right now I'm rocking out with Matt. So, Matt, go ahead and reintroduce yourself so we can get into these topics.
I am Matthew Mack, Twitter handle at Small Red Horn, Instagram handle at Philly Mac Sox. We're here tonight well, actually this afternoon, talk, not only talk about sports, but it's opening day. Yes, one of the best times of the year. Amen. And yet, I will inundate Kyler with baseball up to his ears, and he's going to like it.
Yes, Matt's excited. It's his favorite time of the year. He wants to talk baseball, so I'm going to let him talk baseball today. I think he even has a hot take on baseball. And we're gonna get into it. All right, so as we always start the show, we start off with our crossover hot takes. As you all know, that this is where we lean in, get in to our local cultural and pop stuff, and we'll have some of that. We have one question about the national stuff. So, but it's mostly sports once again. So, Matt, our first question: do you believe the NCAA takes advantage of black athletes? Do you believe, as that article that I shared with you yesterday, you think the NCAA takes advantage of black athletes and basically make them slave labor? That is the art. That is what person at the undefeated believes. But let me hear your thoughts. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, first off, let me say that it's not just people of color that's being um, exploited. It's not just people with low socioeconomic backgrounds that being, that is being exploited. And what's what's more important is, and we see this a lot in the workforce, is the fact that people that that youth is that youth is youth work wherever no matter what you do is being exploited because youth is cheap labor. It's always been cheap labor, and they don't. It's, yes, it's a combination. It's a combination of a lot of things. You can look at from a racial standpoint, which is a very good point. You can look at it from a gender standpoint, and that's another excellent point. But also it's a huge thing because well they're the easiest to exploit. They're the easiest um, pretty much siphon money out because well they're used. You know the stereotype of youth is young, dumb, inexperienced, and we can take advantage of the youth because they're inexperienced. So the NCAA, as a governing body, has become a monster of its own device as far as pretty much the money that comes in and everything else. You call yourself a nonprofit organization, but from those that don't understand what HBO is say you're not profiting. You should not be profiting off of people. This organization should be helping other people get to where they gotta go. Now, bear in mind, if you ever watch tournament, particularly this tournament, you'll see NCAA come up with these ads saying like, only 2% go pro, like that. The more you see things unfold, the more you want to call football. The more you want to call, excuse my French, the more you want to call football. You won't call bull because you see how NCAA, you see how in its boosters and security, the culture of the whole entire body that is National Music Athletic Association is really running roughshod over everyone and everybody. Now, I understand. Now, the thing about these NCAA, my question is this. Get them, of course, you get the money, they go back to the program. Supposedly, that's asked aside from that. However, you have, the one and done players and everything else. You might say, well, by having 20 and done players or players going straight to sports one in the NBA, it hurts the NCAA. Well, the one and done part, yes, it does. But as a coach, personally, to have a player for 1 or 2 years and then go pro, to me, is nonsense. It's pointless. Like, I want to have you 2 years. I'm trying to build a program. I'm trying to build a program that will last for seasons, for a very long time. For a long duration of time. You, as a coach, you're trying to build and recruit a program, a successful program, but yet you have to deal with players who mind really that not really set on college, really. It's more set on just making that money. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They want to make that money back in their 18, 17, 18. You're entitled to do something. It's America. The land with the opportunity, lots of it. You're entitled to do that. But to hold back anyone from making such money, a la the NBA, is ludicrous and wrong. Now, we have seen athletes who make the jump straight to the NFL or NBA, MLB, whatever. Make that jump. Straight to the pros, and then come back to get their degrees. You've seen it before, and it happens more countless than you imagine. You have players that go out of state, get drafted, and then then finish their degrees. We see it all the time, and you don't hear much about it. And you ain't gonna hear about it because once again. NCAA trying to milk as much money out of free labor as possible. And that's just one more point: free labor. So, put it to sum this whole thing up. It's not just a race thing. It's not just gender thing. It's also a youth thing. It's all those things. Wrap up this one big old muddy bowl and slop, and the incident was eating it up. It's a big slop mess. They created it. It's a monster. They created themselves. And they got to deal with it. Oh, by the way, the bigger this slop is, the more it's going to overflow. And next thing you know, you already have a serious problem, but it's going to fester and ferment if this is not dealt with.
All right, Matt said a lot. Do I believe the NCAA takes advantage of its black people? Yeah, the NCAA takes advantage of what's up, y'all? Live screen today. The NCAA definitely does take advantage of the labor, as Matt said, because they can, and the way they have these monopolies set up with the NBA and the NFL, they're able to do that. Now it goes back to a comment that I said a couple of podcasts ago, right? Now we all know they take advantage. We all know they get over because they had amateurism. We all know that they take advantage of this. So ultimately, it becomes our fault, right? We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to. It's too late now. We're gonna get to our Final Four stuff later on in this program, but we're gonna have to skip some March Madnesses. We're gonna have to skip some CF PCs, college football playoff championships. We're gonna have to do some things to make the NCAA want to change, because they're not going to change on their own. They're not, and because of the deals, or I'm not a legal scholar, I don't know if there's an official deal, because nobody's been able to report on if there's an official deal between the NBA, the NFL, and the NCAA. We just all think it is because they got these year requirements, but we don't know. So we should state that, because I'm not trying to get sued. So we don't know. But
a certain piece with a job, so for insurance reasons. So the NFL is kind of exempt from that, but they still have hands in it as well, in some very way.
like I said, we don't know. We know that there's different things. We know that the NBA, as I've chronicled in some articles, in 2005, the NBA changed their rule. We know the NFL did the same thing for insurance purposes. So we kind of do know that they did that, and they got this wink wink deal. And so when you have these deals, when you have these different things with Nike, with Adidas, with the NBA and the NFL, you get FBI investigations. And when you get an FBI investigation, then we have pressure, because now the NCAA is under pressure. And as we all know from our science class and biology class, pressure has to be released. Now the pressure's on the NBA right now, because it's college basketball. Right now we're on college basketball. Another year we'll be on college football, and the pressure will be on the NFL. It's time for a minor league. It's time to open up the G League. And our next question, we're going to tackle this. The G League is going to become an option now for college basketball players because of the FBI. And to answer the question, yes, they do take advantage of black labor. And as Matt said, not just the black labor. We're not going to get to cover it today, but one of our Olympians, Katie Ledecky, some of you might know her. She's a swimming phenom. She had to go pro because she had tapped out on her years of eligibility because she did the Olympics. And as an Olympic athlete, she couldn't do more than 2 years. Now, don't y'all think that's kind of ridiculous? Somebody has to go pro in order to stay in college, in order to compete as a college athlete. It doesn't make sense. And swimming, college swimming could use a star like her, because I know I don't pay attention to it. Matt, you pay attention to it? You're muted, Matt. Somewhat. I know.
Some things need not to be said. So.
Listen. So they could definitely use a star. So yeah, like Matt said, it's not just black athletes. It's not just white athletes. The NCAA gets over. And we're going to have to do something about it. We're going to have to stop watching March Madness. We're going to have to stop watching We will have to stop giving them record ratings. Last year's college basketball tournament was the highest rated thing on television for the NCAA. It even beat college football. That's saying
I
something.
got to tell you something. I got to tell you something. Because you have places in America where it's unlike Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore. I went to bigger cities. You know, college sports is all in these towns. Have a la Baton Rouge from LSU, Columbia, Carolina, South Carolina, even Raleigh, Raleigh, North Carolina too. So you have these, say like, you have to think about it. A lot of smaller cities, a lot of small towns rely on these, I got these, they rely on these, these programs to make money on the outside of, outside of school and everything. So to say, well, boycott this, that, and the third, he might hurt somebody's bottom dollar. So, but it takes a community effort to say, okay, we will not tolerate this, and by showing that we will not tolerate this, we're going to shut down our business. So, yeah, look at it that way.
Matt, you know that's all they understand is dollars and cents, man. I'm not calling for a boycott. I'm just saying that people should listen to what I said. I said people should stop watching the college football playoffs. I'm not saying college football as a whole. The playoffs really hurt them, and March Madness really hurt them. I'm not saying because I can't put down college basketball, college football either, but I can put it down for the playoffs and help these athletes get some money. I'm just saying if they start losing some ratings, like something because let's be real, there won't be a Colin Kaepernick type situation where somebody be banned from college football and it'll make everybody stop watching. You know, so we're gonna have to do some artificial stuff. But they take advantage of labor. Yes, they do, and it's a shame. Uh, Go ahead, Amina. What's your thoughts on this? Do you believe the NCAA black athletes?
Oh look, someone finally decided to show up today. Holy Toledo!
You there? Amina, you there? She's,
Yes, hold on. Are we on question one still or two?
Oh, she came in witness protection today. Holy Toledo!
I'm sick.
listen, you could do whichever one. I mean, technically, me and Matt did number one to death, so you could start with number two.
Um,
Oh,
if
so the
it's
question.
in
Oh,
regards
sorry.
to number two, in regards to question number two, I would say it's getting there. It's not on a white range right now, but it eventually will. You see a lot of people that are seeing opportunities in other areas for professional basketball other than the traditional NBA. And also there's options overseas as well. So people have a variety now that they did have years ago to show their gifts and talents with basketball rather than going directly to the NBA for the men or the WNBA for the women. And I also think it has to be contributed to the pay for some leagues in other countries. From what I understand, they have better pay and the respect is better and the competition is more balanced. The college basketball players, some make it to the draft and some don't. So it would be good if they did have an option outside the draft. And it'd be good also for high school players like Kobe Bryant did, for instance, where he started playing actually in the NBA when he was a 12th grader. So it's a lot of variables, like I said, but as they'll see the bigger picture as it moves along, who knows? They may decommit, or they may just decide to go their individual ways. But everyone has their own desires for their careers, and from what I see, the NBA isn't working out too well for a lot of people. I mean, you got people in the NBA that play for any given years, and they end up leaving the NBA to go play in another country, and they do well and retire. So
Hey, look at Stephon Marbury.
yes, so it's different variables. So I
Well,
don't think it'll be. I don't think it'd
he's
be a
saying,
mass decommit movement, but players here and there are participating in different basketball leagues outside of the NBA. It is apparent.
don't you love movements,
Man,
revolution?
can barely hear you muffled.
Since you like revolutions and movements and all this nonsense, willingly nonsense, I'll put it to you this way, okay? If you know there are 20, I counted, there are 26 G League teams right now in the league. 26 out of 30.
Mm-hmm. Four teams don't have one. Yep.
Okay, I know me in the Shreveport area, they were talking about they were trying to attract one here, which really New Orleans don't have one yet. But here's the thing, right?
Always got the Pelicans, but that's the NBA.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. Think about this. You had the like for example, you could draft Major League Baseball and the NHL. They draft their players straight out of high school, right? The NBA used to have done so until '05, and now you have a whole boatload of these one and doneers that's coming in. It's making college basketball great again. Don't get me wrong. Thanks, Trump. However, like I said, like I said earlier, you cannot stop a person from making his money. You just can't. I mean, to see here say, well, we want to hold you back for a year, but that's why you have the politics. That's why they're there. That's why it's in place. That's why I myself say, you know what, we need to take the G League and make it a better minor league product. You know,
But not
instead of
everyone needs the G League or the 1 year at college. I mean, look at like the example I use, Kobe
I mean,
Bryant. He was
that's
played
but
in NBA. He was played in NBA as a 12th grader. He was
that's
actually
actually not true. Actually, he did finish his junior year at Lower Marion.
he
He
wasn't
did finish.
signed to the team, but he was still participating in games they had. And his parents had to sign waivers for him because he was under 18.
No, wait. That's what I found out. I'll research it. But he was drafted by Charlotte. He was drafted by Charlotte after he graduated from Lower Marion. After
Hmm.
he graduated from Lower Marion, not before, but after he graduated. Because remember, the draft starts in June. Let's see, June. Yeah, the draft starts in June in the NBA. In the NBA, June or July, one of the two. And usually high school kids are out. So to say that he got drafted while in senior high school is bona fide ludicrous. If not, now you're in child labor territory. But still, the
Well, I don't
NBA,
know what they did, but I know his parents had to sign waivers for him to play with the professionals until he got to be 18. He was playing with them while he was 17 because he started his career professionally when he was 17.
but the bottom line should be this, right? Some players you can draft straight out of high school, but they need a little more seasoning, a little more development. That's why the G League is there. Now, I don't know. I personally don't know how the rules go in the G League, but I know in baseball, you have to go through the ranks. They don't. You don't. it is super rare that a player in the major leagues goes straight from wherever they were, whether it be high school or college, straight to the MLB. And one person, I mean, this is highly rare, highly rare, you know. But you need that. You need that development to say, okay, you are MLB ready, you are NBA ready, you are NHL ready. Kids, like you've seen players come straight out of high school, you know, first round, top 10 pick, and they come out to be bust, a la Kwame Brown. We've seen these train wrecks before, and organizations, they have to be sure that whoever they draft will make almost an immediate impact or a long-term impact for their organizations. And which, by the way, to shrink the draft to just 2 rounds, I never liked the idea from the jump, and it's a terrible idea from the get-go, because now you get the G League's expanding, you should have at least put it back to 3, if not 4 rounds again. That's just my thing. That's my thing about that. If you really want to take this G League thing a lot seriously and a lot bigger, that's where development and scouting comes from.
So let me just, because people don't know what we're talking about, or we are already well into number 2. All right. So we had a big time 5-star recruit named Darius Baisley, right? He decommitted from Syracuse University. He was their biggest get since Carmelo Anthony, right? He decommitted to go to the G League, and that's what we're talking about right now. And so I wrote an article, shameless plug, a couple weeks ago, probably about a month ago, called "The NBA Rectified Its Past Mistakes." You can check that out on WatsonSports6.com. And when I talked about that, I talked about how the NBA had a gold mine in the G League, right? And Matt has said on this podcast multiple times that they should open that up as a full farm system, a la MLB. He's got baseball in the brain because baseball is back. But he always has baseball on the brain. But will more players decommit? I'm a little bit skeptical. I think I have to see how it works out for Mr. Baisley first, because some people become career G leaguers. And, you know, in that article, I did the research, you know, in the G League, you make $25,000 a year. And to make $25,000 a year as an 18-year-old kid, that's a lot of money at 18. And I think that, you know, like Matt, I'm pro pay the players. I'm pro let them get money. I'm pro get your money. Because I think it's ridiculous that you got to come into college with a trust fund like Johnny Manziel in order to survive in college. But, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, I think that, you know, this guy's going to be the example. So if it works out for him, definitely more players will come out. But he's going to be the Barack Obama to this, if you will. And they said that this really wasn't advertised. He just asked the NBA, and the NBA said, yeah, you can do it. You're 18. So, you know, the NBA doesn't really advertise that you don't really have to go to college, because that would hurt the bottom line of the NCAA. But, you know, I think that it's a great, good on him. You know, if you're only going to be one and done, why waste time and waste Syracuse's resources? Just go to the NBA, or as close to the NBA as you can get. Learn from Hall of Fame level coaches, pro coaches, and improve your game. I can't knock this. I hope more players do it, but I'm skeptical that this will lead to a mass exodus. I think that, like I said, is going to take a while, and I hope that the G League becomes to a level. We were saying a couple podcasts ago, would there ever be somebody that will rise to the level of the NCAA to really challenge them and for the players and stuff? We were talking about it in reference to football, but it looks like we were ahead of our time. But really, what we should have been looking at was basketball, because here comes the G League. So, that's what it is. It is what it is. It's about time the NBA and the NFL caught up to what the MLB and the NHL do, which is, you could still go to high school and be drafted as an NHL player or a baseball player. I never understood why the NBA thought that was a bad thing. It's worked out for baseball and hockey players. But then again, they have a farm system and a minor league system. But even still, they should be able to do what they need to do. These kids should be able to make their money. And I hope it works out for Mr. Baisley so more people can do it. So the next question. So that sigh of relief, that thing you may have felt, that was the collective breaths of 76ers fans around the world, as we found out that our star center Joel Embiid has a concussion and the bruised or left orbital bone, all because of Markelle Fultz's shoulder. All right, guys. So will the 76ers be okay without Joel Embiid until the playoffs? I'll start. I think they will. Yesterday they played the Hawks, so it really wasn't an adequate test for them because they were. And but Ben Simmons really stepped up. I watched the game. He really did step up. He had a triple double. He was hitting shots. He was getting everybody involved. I was really happy for him. So if Joel Embiid has to miss, I think they said it broke today or this morning that he might only have to miss one playoff game. So if that's the case, and he only has to miss one playoff game, I'm happy with that. But I think the 76ers for the next 7 games will be all right, and they might even get to 50. I don't know. They might get to 48, 49, 50. I know they have to play the Cavaliers on Tuesday, so that's like their biggest game yet, as they're playing for the 3rd seed. So hopefully that'll work out. Mentor versus protege, Ben Simmons versus LeBron James. We'll see, but you're really gonna feel the Joel Embiid. You're not gonna see the weakness of the team when they face the Hawks, but you'll definitely see it when they face the Cavaliers. Let's not be disrespectful. It still is the Cavaliers. They're still facing LeBron James, and he's going to be able to attack the paint when he wants to, especially without Embiid. But it shouldn't really affect them. I still expect them to get to the second round of the playoffs, and hopefully they'll be able to make some noise. But
I think the Pistons or the 4th.
True. I think that this team will definitely be able to rise to the occasion. I think it's a gut check moment, just like for the Eagles. Now, obviously, the Eagles are were a lot more farther along and a lot better team than the Sixers are at this point. But just like for the Eagles, how that team rallied around when Carson Wentz went down, and it really propelled the team. More people stepped up. I think this will help the young Sixers as they go into the playoffs. And I really do believe that they can make some noise if they make it past the first round. They might be able to make it to the Eastern Conference Championship, depending on who they play. I really do believe that this team can go far. And I used to think that they're one piece away. Maybe they're just one more reserve away, but I still think that they're one Kawhi Leonard away. But we'll see. And this playoffs will be a good test for that. Go ahead, Matt.
This team is going to be fine. Like you said, you just found out that he's going to miss probably just one playoff game. Again, this team is going to be fine. You said it before. It's the next man up. And yes, it was the Hawks. Yes, it was a less inferior team, but they took care of business. I didn't see the game. I'm looking at my I saw the box score, and a lot of players stepped up. Ilya Silva stepped, like Ilya Silva stepped up, Rick Johnson stepped up. These guys stepped up in place of the lead. And yes, it was the Hawks, but they took care of business. So, yes. And also, yeah, it wasn't, yes, it was a freaking injury. And thank God it wasn't let anywhere go, like leg, knee, or foot or something. So we're cool about that. It's fine. But this team's gonna be fine. We ain't got nothing to worry about. So, like you said, Doc, we have the easiest, look, we have the easiest schedule in the NBA remainder of the season. The only hard game we have to worry about is Cleveland. And for number three, we need it. We need Cleveland. So, and I think that Cleveland hand was. I'm trying to remember if I do remember. So the Sixers have to keep stepping the game up. They keep that intensity going into game one of the Eastern Conference uh, first round. So this team is going to be fine.
Go ahead, Amina.
Yeah, I got excuse me. I gotta agree with the both of y'all. The Sixers they'll be fine. They beat the Hawks last night by 10 points. That's great. And the last 7 games they got is the Hornets, Nets, Pistons, Cavs, Mavs, Hawks, and Bucks. So great schedule they have for their last 7 games. And I'm looking forward to see how that game goes on the 6th on that Friday with the Cavs with them versus LeBron James. The game will actually be in Philly at the Wells Fargo, so they have home court advantage. So that's a great thing. This team has came a long way from even last season, the season before that, where they were struggling to get where they are now. But it's a team that's really progressing, and you could see that the chemistry is great. The people responsible for getting the players on the team, they truly did invest great in them as far as money and time put in. It's a truly team effort with this organization. I haven't seen from the Sixers in a while, where they actually want to get out there and win, and they actually are. Like they're blowing teams apart lately. It's ridiculous, but I'm proud of them. Like they really they wanted to beat the playoffs, and they got the playoffs, and they'll go as far as they want.
Beating the
So
Warriors.
so yeah, I don't see anything wrong. Like I see them winning at least 5 of those last 7 games. At least 5 of them, I see them winning. So
That's how we beat the Warriors.
shut the hell up. But
Yeah,
the Sixers have the Hornets tomorrow, so that should be a great game.
you too. You two go back to your corner. Go back to your corners.
Talking about my dang team, you know I'm sensitive.
Um, yes. If y'all can't tell by Amina's voice, she's troopering through a cold. She's having her flu podcast. No, she doesn't literally have the flu podcast. Doesn't have the flu, I don't believe, but she's
No, I don't.
literally having her flu game podcast. So those of you
Keep it
sports podcast.
from me.
But yes, so she's under the weather. So send her your prayers and your thoughts. Um, moving right along, and more Sixers,
Don't
and
send
more.
us to the NRA.
All right, so we have back by popular demand is our cultural hot take because we have not been doing any cultural hot takes in a while. So we're going to talk about Stephon Clark and that whole thing, guys. So it came out. We're going to stick to the facts here. It came out that it looks like, based on the independent autopsy, that our man's was shot 8 times in the back. And a couple of times in his leg, and it looks like that there was a lot of, I don't know, this is speculation on my part, blind shooting going on there. Whatever. So yeah. So what's y'all reaction to death and what's going on in Sacramento right now? Go ahead, Ami.
Yeah, I know one person that lives in Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Yeah, I know one person that lives in Sacramento, and she says that what happened to him does not represent her city, and that's true. Like none of these police brutality, killings and beatings and stabbings and shootings or whatever represent any city in this country, whether a major city, rural, suburban, does not. But she says this is very unfortunate how most people don't know about the city of Sacramento from outside and how this is how her city is getting exposed in the media for the negative thing. And it's very unfortunate. But in regards to Stephon Clark, as an individual person, when I saw the pictures of the model of where he was shot and how he was shot and the videos of what happened, I don't know why. I know why, but outside of it's like, really? This 22-year-old father, he's got a 1-year-old son and a 3-year-old son that'll never know their father in their lives ever again, by the way. Standing in his grandmother's backyard. He lives with his grandmother, his grandparents, and his siblings. He was standing in the backyard with his iPhone, having a conversation, whatever. And they just walked up on him and started shooting. My thing is, how do you fear for your life and you shot somebody and their back was turned to you? Because the way he was shot, they shot him first. Like half the bullets that he got shot with, he was turning away from the police. They didn't even see what he had in his hand. They just started firing for no reason. And the city of Sacramento, they need to get ready for a not guilty verdict because it's coming. I mean, Alton Sterling's family thought that they was going to get some type of justice, but they waited 20 months for not guilty. So one is coming for Stephon Clark too. So this is truly crazy how the rash of these police killings are starting back up again. They never end, but the ones in the media are starting to be shown again. But it's truly crazy. Like this 22-year-old father, two sons, will never see his children again. But you got the fool to shut up the 17 souls in the Parkland High School in Florida, and he's receiving fan mail letter and financial donations from his crazy fan club of whatever it is. It's just truly interesting, and these things are going to keep happening until Black people decide to separate. You can't keep living amongst people that keep doing this to your people year after year, year after year. You don't do anything. It's either black men are going to truly step up as a unit to take over their communities to do what they're supposed to do, or this is going to keep happening. It's only April tomorrow, so we got a whole rest of the year to go. So Stephon Clark is not going to be the first or the last of 2018. We're going to be hearing of another case probably during the summer. It's going to be the same thing. It's probably in another city. It's the job of men to serve and protect their communities. The women, the children, to do what they need to do. And I don't see that happening on a large united scale. If the Hasidic Jews were being if the Hasidic Jews were being shot down by the Nazi Germany's, they would have been rose up. I'm just saying, like people, they need to wake up and get some firepower in their DNA and realize what the hell is going on. Because this stuff can't keep happening. Are we going to go through another generation of police killings and police brutalities? Another generation? How many? How many more generations can we lose? So they buried Stephon Clark, and I understand his brother Stevante Clark. I understand his anger and frustration, but what his brother needs to understand is that they don't care about you yelling, screaming, shouting, crying, boo hooing, all that. All they know is that you are another Negro and you are perpetuating the stereotypes of black youth, unruly, thuggish. So what I think is the best thing to do is that the family gets mature, stable-minded representative to speak for them because him that's a ticking time bomb. And looking at the interviews he's done, I see that it's into drinking and some type of smoking narcotics, and he's setting himself up for his family to have to bury two brothers in the same year. The cops had nothing against shooting him. They have nothing his brother, so they have nothing against shooting you. So just get your attitude. I know you're grief stricken, and people react to it different, but how you're reacting to it is not good because they would use that against you. So I want this family to truly get themselves together and do what they need to do because it's two little boys in their family that don't have no father. So they need to stand up and be mature and do what they can. And I send my thoughts to the city of Sacramento because I know that's not y'all. Does not represent y'all city. Y'all city is typically chill, from what I understand over the years. So this is devastating for you all, but still go about things mature wise.
All right, Matt, go ahead.
Come back to me later. I'm kind of indisposed at this point.
All right. Let me see. I feel it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate loss of life. Unfortunately, I don't agree with our current occupant of the White House. I don't agree that this is a local matter. I believe that this is a world matter. I'm of the mindset of just like former President Obama. This is not even a uniquely an American problem. This is a world problem. This is the world and this country once again taking advantage of, you know, black black men, black bodies, and unfortunately, this is something that we all bear because the media criminalizes black bodies. The world tells us that black bodies don't matter, and so are we surprised that we have cops that don't care about black bodies? I mean, we have media that tells us that all black people are, especially black men, are thugs and somebody to be feared. And we act like, and I see a lot of people act like There's no hypocrisy here. With every time black bodies, uh, black men or black women get gunned down by cops, we act like it is a surprise that they say that they basically regurgitate stuff that's been in the media or things that they see on television. Oh, when it was Mike Brown, he came at me. He was like a monster. He was like the Hulk. I shot him with a couple bullets. He just kept charges. That's why I had to load all them bullets into him. Trayvon Martin, he had the strength of 20 men at 16 years old and was able to overpower this grown man. So he had to get shot. We have so many excuses that go back to the images of black men as monsters, black women as monsters, yelling. Everything goes back to a stereotype that we allowed to happen. It's not just black people, because a lot of people are going to go the militaristic route where they get Marcus Garvey shot and assassinated. You know, there's a lot of people that are going to be like, separate. Listen, we have $3 trillion in buying power. Let's be real. Anytime that anybody says we're going to separate, whether they be black, white, or whatever, they're not going to allow that to happen, because it's our $3 trillion that keeps this country alive. They depend on us. They're not going to let us go. Let's get that out of our heads. We're not going anywhere. So the next thing after that is this. We're going to have to figure out something new that we're going to do, because being militaristic and saying separate the race didn't work for Marcus Garvey, didn't work for Malcolm X, and he changed his tune once he went to Mecca anyway. It doesn't work. Separating doesn't work. Prayers and thoughts ain't working. We gotta figure out what we doing. Because like Amina said, it's gonna be a lot more of these. It's not a local matter. Another thing is y'all gonna have to stop praising these cops, because as we see with Alton Sterling and the video that came out for that, and this was Stephen Clark. Apparently, we've given too much power to the police officers. There's not good cops coming out. I would love for a good cop to come out and say something like an alleged good cop come out and say what they did wrong, because this is why a lot of people don't believe that there's good rank and file cops, because when things like this happen, you don't hear nobody saying, oh, he did it wrong. He did this. Everybody hides behind the shield. This is another thing. We're too tribalistic. Everybody hides behind their occupation, their degree, their political party. Everything is the same. We all bleed red. There's no such thing as race. We all bleed red. We all die. We all live. We all die. We all got the same thing. It's just a bunch of stereotypes and a bunch of social constructions that keep us separate. Now listen. This is a shame. Like Amina said, y'all might as well get ready for a not guilty verdict. Or a civil suit and the cops losing their jobs. That's about all you're going to get. We're going to have to figure out a way to do this better. I don't know if that's kicking people out of the office. I don't know if that's getting a review board over cops in DA's office and judicial systems. I don't know what that is, but we need something. Because I am so tired of hearing about somebody getting shot 20 times, somebody getting shot 16 times, somebody getting shot 15 times, and every time they unarmed. So I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we gotta do something. Go ahead, Matt.
So back at it again, man. Back at it. I heard Amina diatribe on the fact of separation. We've heard we need to come together. Look, let's keep it real. I'm going to keep it. Separation does not work economically. It'll never work economically. Complaining is the worst thing you can do. You want to break and complain, you better have an action. You better have a plan of action. Because it doesn't. It doesn't work. Now, I criticize Black America. This. I never actually can say if I'm gonna say it here. Y'all go ahead and bitch and complain about, Arthur shooting. What about us? What about it's a you're a part of this as well, but you once again just votes. So that's that. I want to get that out the way. One. Number two, we're back out of the game. And yet America has not learned this lesson. Regular America, white America, black America has not learned. I feel still has not learned yet. Okay. The name, look, these cops out here already know, me, or believe, excuse me, that we are this. They see the stereotype and live upon it. Now, honestly, I've grown extremely very, very young because it's inaction, pretty much inaction. And I feel as though they're not acting the right way. We're not too much need to. Yes, we can change, but I honestly don't see how. I don't honestly see how we're going about it the right way. Now, I criticize heavily on the Black Lives Matter movement because it's not. Remember, you want stuff done. You need as much firepower as humanly possible. You can't do this by yourself. You can't fight this fight by yourself. You need as much help and as much firepower as you can. You need as many lawyers as you can. You need as many bodies as possible. That's the bottom line. You need bodies. And it's not just, you know, all black folks. You need a whole collective community group to say enough is enough. That's if you think about it, that's how Parkland is becoming successful to stand up against the NRA because enough's enough. We've heard enough of thoughts. We've heard enough of thoughts and prayers. We've heard enough of you know gun debates and everything else. Look, if you want, it's time for us as Black America to stop griping, stop bitching, stop complaining amongst ourselves, and get the gang together, and not just an all black gang. Because, as you've seen time and time again, we are being ignored with an easy brush. Money is the best way to get people's attention. And unfortunately, for us Black Americans, gripe, we bitch, and we complain way too much to get things done. That's where that's where I'm at right now. And we talked about police before. We talk about all these other things. And I feel as though, again, Black America is sitting on their hands, either sitting on their hands, or once again talking amongst themselves and not doing a damn thing about it. We've been here, we've seen this again, and the results are the same. So, Black America, Black Lives Matter. Get your act together, refocus, regroup, and stop acting like as if you're not island by yourself, because you're not. You're in America. 330 million Americans. We make up 14% of the population. We make up $3 billion, $3 trillion worth of buying power. We need a gang. We need an army of lawyers, politicians, you name it. Take a Black Orlando Castillo, and the list goes on and on and on. If you want to stop, if you want to stop, put boots to the ground and cash where it needs to be because it's there right now. Honestly, and take this and run. You should take this shooting and tack it on what Portland is doing. Yes, it is a stupid organization right now. And guess what? I'm sorry to tell you, if believe it or not, young young people have moved this country, and politicians are scared. They are scared crap about it. So if you want change, sitting on your hands ain't gonna do it. Get up off your ass, go vote, vote these people out of office, tell them and demand what you want in your community. So something like Parkland, something like Sacramento, Baton Rouge, Minneapolis, Ferguson, etc. does not have to do it. Because not only do voice count, action counts.
All right, moving right along, we're gonna go to our next topic, which is um, Markel Fultz. All right, y'all. So your reaction to the return of Markel Fultz, and the other question for the next one is we'll answer both. Will the return of Fultz be the shot in the back or the arm the Sixers need to make a deep playoff run? Let me Man, listen, I had a stomach bug that I'll start. I had a stomach bug that game. I think that was Monday, right? That he came back. I was really, really shocked. Like I was talking to Amina about it off air, and I was all like, "Oh, the game that I'm down for is the game he returns." And I was really happy for him. Like I was happy that Markel Fultz came back. I mean, we're so happy for him because like I said, he had become not a walking joke on this podcast, but some of the question in Philadelphia, everybody's trying to figure out what was wrong with him because he had so much promise. He was the missing piece, and I feel like, and Matt and I have brought up the same thing. Like we feel like he's the missing piece. Like a lot of the problems that the Sixers have, as far as not being able to have a scorer, somebody who can consistently get their own shot, will be solved when Markel Fultz gets back to full strength. And now that he is back to semi full strength, I'm very happy. And now he's adding. Yeah, so I'm happy for him. That's my reaction to it. Now, I definitely think that he's going to add some punch because, like I said, and like Matt has said before, we believe that the 76ers are missing a consistent scorer, somebody who can get their own shot. He's definitely that. He's somebody who can get his own shot. He proved that in his first game back when he got like 10, 12 points in the first 14 minutes that he was in the game. And like I said, I wrote an article out there, WatsonSportsStage.com, on him being a Fultz plug. We'll play on words there. And I think that he's definitely going to be the shot in the arm we need off the bench or in the starting lineup if they give him the starting lineup, because I definitely think the starting lineup is going to change once the playoffs start. So I think that either he'll start or he'll be our sixth man off the bench. But he's definitely going to add more depth to our bench. He's definitely going to add more stuff to who we to our bench, and definitely add to the depth that the 76ers are sorely lacking coming off the bench, or the depth in shooting, the depth in a lot of things. And he's definitely going to be the answer. And I really, really hope that he can be the difference maker in the playoffs for the Sixers. Uh, Go ahead, Matt.
Um, Ladies and gentlemen, we not only we have a Markel Fultz sighting, but also Markel Fultz is in the building, and he's playing well for a rookie. Look, let's keep it beat. I was I was relieved to see Markel Fultz finally play and get his basketball legs under him once again, and finally that shot is looking better, better than what we've seen since the first game, which where he looked like it was more just broke. It was just like something. It's like he never shot a ball in his day in his life, right? But here you go. To see him just trying to just fitting into the system, coming with me. I'm glad he's coming off the bench and really contributing with you know so far I think he had I think he had 7 assists in his first game, 10, 7, and 10 and 7 assists, and I think 8 against Atlanta. I mean, we see like this guy can create shots. We know this and we see this, and again, I feel as though I mean, I'm not saying he's better than Lonzo, however, you know by being under Embiid, Simmons.
Matt's acting scared. He won't say it. I'll say it. He's better than Lonzo Ball. I said it.
There's a reason I'm not saying it yet because we don't have a bigger pool of games. I mean, think about it. Yeah, I'm gonna say as of right now, Markel Fultz is slightly better, slightly better. Because think about this: look at the two rosters, the roster of the Lakers and the roster of the Sixers. You know full damn well the roster of the Sixers is a lot better than the roster of the Lakers. You know full well it's better than that. And in fact, you know with the way his court vision and everything else, he, you know, Simmons on the floor is one thing. Markel Fultz, who has a better shot than Ben Simmons, unfortunately. I mean, can really create. So I'm more interested in how he's going to create shots for JJ Redick, for Covington, for Bellinelli and the like. I'm telling you, once he's on the roll, I think this 76er team is not even more dangerous, they're deadly. I think a little more deadlier than the Cavaliers. A wee bit more deadlier than the Cavaliers. Andre Terry, your move.
First of all, Matt, don't be calling my name like that. It's Mr. Andre Terry to you. The reaction to Markel Fultz coming back. I'm excited, man. I really am. The kid look good. You know, he dunking on people already. Go ahead, Markel. You know, I've been waiting for this. We've been talking about it forever. I didn't think he was going to play this season. I'm so glad I was wrong. And I think I talked about that before. Like, I hope that I'm wrong, that he plays this season. Matt's right. He's 100% right. They are definitely better with him on the team, you know, because he gets that 15-foot jumper, that 17-foot jumper. He can create his own shot. He can get to the rim. He draws defenders. This guy's a number one draft pick. It's the reason why he's a number one draft pick. He's obviously athletic. You know, he obviously got some abilities, you know. I like that play where he came down and he made like an underhanded shot on 2 defenders. In the last game, I was like, man, okay, this kid is special. I was like, all right, he's translating over into his NBA career now because, you know, we see it often where you're great in college basketball, but when you try to bring it to the NBA, unless you take that next level step, doesn't go well. I'm so excited for the Sixers. I can't wait for the season to start. And just to go back just a little bit, I know kind of like, nah, we're not going back. The Sixers will be okay without Joel Embiid into the playoffs. Now, when they get in the playoffs, they need Joel Embiid. Don't get it misconstrued. Because the game, like Barkley always says, the game slows down, and it becomes a half-court game instead of a full-court game. Like, you can't run because, like, defenses play better. Everybody plays up the park because this is all or nothing. Like, we playing for the chip now. So, you know, they'll be fine until he comes back.
Marina?
Yeah, I feel so much my fault for this possibly sensitive and it's strong and keep back and very well and you're going well. So I really put you off there.
All right. All right. Moving right along then to other ones. We'll get to Matt's baseball stuff. All right. Why is there a double standard for NFL owners and players when it comes to protests? So I'll start here too. I found it interesting. Uh, this week we had, or last weekend we had a couple of things happen while we were podcasting last week. We had the March for Our Lives going on. Y'all excuse that. That's my phone in the background. While we were podcasting, we had the March for Our Lives in the background going on while we were podcasting and everything and broadcasting and everything last week. So now this week, and to help the kids get there, Robert Kraft loaned his private plane now, and that's a good thing. But you know, Robert Kraft loans his private jet. Different football players tweeted and Facebook their support and everything. But it's kind of amazing to me how some things will just let slide. Like, and there were NBA players. Carmelo Anthony, he also paid for different players. I mean, different kids to go down there and go experience it last weekend. And that's not to. I'm not laughing at it. I'm not boohooing it. But I just find it funny that that's something that is okay to protest. Some people have even said, "Oh, that was off company time." People stretch goalposts to make stuff seem less important than it is. You have him being able to do that and nobody says anything. But I just wanna say, what if another player did that? And I don't understand this. Why is there so much double standards in the NFL? Like, not just him. We also had an owner a couple weeks ago having a fundraiser at their home for Donald Trump. And it went unnoticed. Nobody said nothing. And I just find it funny that you have all these double standards. But if a player, let's say Colin Kaepernick or another football player or another athlete like LeBron James or somebody had a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump's eventual challenger in 2020 and everything else, it would be all over the news, but nobody talks about these owners. And I'm so sick of these double standards. I'm of the mindset that we're going to treat these people. Everybody should be treated equally. So if you got a problem with Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during the national anthem, you should have an equal problem with the fact of Jay Glazer giving money to Donald Trump because that's equally just as significant. Or we all agree that was a great thing that Robert Kraft gave his plane away. But it's kind of double standard going from him because he also is supportive of Donald Trump, who gets a lot of NRA money. So it is what it is. But there's double standards when it comes to protesting, and it's a shame that the NFL can't get it together like the NBA. The NBA has it together. the Sacramento Kings, they they did they were able to wear the shirts. The NBA allowed them to wear the practice shirts. Some that the NFL didn't let the Cleveland Browns do, or was it the St. Louis Rams who wanted to do hands up, don't shoot, and they had a problem with it. So many people have different problems. Like, I don't understand why these powerful political organizations feel like they can influence the NFL, but can't. Well, I have a good idea why they feel like they can influence the NFL and not influence and can't and don't say nothing when the NBA just does with it. The NBA is much more progressive. They allow their players to do what they would have to do, and the NFL is just like this regressive organization that won't let anybody do anything, and it's kind of suspect to me. I definitely think is what we talked about last week is because of the audience, but I really don't understand this double standard, and I don't understand why we allow as an audience these owners to continue to just get over with stuff that we would never allow players to do. Like Colin Kaepernick can't even get a job, neither can Eric Reed because they kneel during the anthem. But we're cool with Jay Glazer, um, Bob Kraft, and others giving money to Donald Trump, doing different things, and how problematic that is. But you know, knee during the national anthem. No way we can allow that. Go ahead, Matt. Matt,
Am I right? All right. You know what? The National Basketball Association is more progressive because you have a lot more players that are European and from other countries. So, in a sense, the NBA has a very global presence. So, in theory, the NBA cannot, and I think, in my opinion, cannot have that type of collective conservative bone, if you will, in their body. They just cannot. Again, because you have players who you have because the NBA is a more NBA is very progressive because you have a lot of players who are who are who come from different countries. With that, excuse me, with that, the National Felons League, and I say this with both jokingly and seriously, it's like this. You ain't doing nobody a damn favor. The fact that, okay, you're paying these athletes millions and millions of dollars for a sport that the average lifespan is only about 5 to 6 seasons, really, mostly depending on position, and you expect, of course, some organizations, do a lot of great philanthropic work, and it's true. But to sit here and stifle someone and say, you know what, there's something in my community that I do not agree with, and it needs to be better, or it needs to be improved upon, and to stifle that person or player or whoever is wrong. It's damn wrong. It's dead wrong. You can't say, well, we're we're an organization that's for the community. Say that one minute, then turn around and say something totally different. Do you know what that's called? I know, I do. That's called hypocrisy. Being a hypocrite. Now, if you want to be part of the community, do be like Sacramento. Stand up and say, we do not tolerate, we understand the fact they blocked the freeway and the entrance to the place formerly in that, I forgot the name of the arena, they used to call it Arco. the home of the Kings. Recognize it and call it out for what it is. For the NFL to screw over the then St. Louis Rams, Kylan, the then St. Louis Rams said, oh no, just shut up and play the game. Look, you haven't learned your lesson yet. 9/11, nobody played. When Kennedy assassination, the AFL didn't play, but the NFL did, and that was a terrible mistake on the NFL's part. The 1984 Olympics, you even when everybody found out on their phones that Osama bin Laden was killed, you heard chants of USA in Citizens Bank Park. To sit here and say sports should be an asylum, sports should be a place where no politics should even have to cross over. National Football League, you are sorely mistaken because I'm going to tell you this right now, whether you like it or not, the National Football League, has taken multiple millions of dollars from the Department of Defense to push their agenda on recruiting for the military. Granted, look, you do whatever you want, but take the money from the Department of Defense and shove it down our throats. It's crazy. And oh, by the way, the national anyone who displays the flag in a flat surface like that, that's violating flag code anyway. I'm just putting it out there. But Sacramento did was the right thing to do. And the NFL should follow suit on that, and all the other sports leagues should follow suit on that. You are representing the city that you're working in. And to ignore the issues of said city and of said community is ignorance, and playing ignorance on your part is just flat out wrong.
Andre?
We talked about this time and time again. You always got to look at the leadership when it comes to anything, especially when it comes to NFL. Roger Goodell runs the tight ship, and it's a very conservative ship. It's a ship that operates in a box. They don't tend to let their players nor their owners tend to operate on their own um, thoughts and abilities. It's always about having this image or this model. NBA, as you can see, like they are definitely more global. It's an Olympic sport. That tells you it's more global. The fact that it's on the world stage, they embrace differences. You got an exec. I think he's a GM now. The Golden State Warriors, who's openly gay. I can't think of one person that works in the NFL that's openly gay. They had that one player that was on Dallas, but he's not even playing anymore. You've had one player also with the NBA with Jason Collins. Um, you always get the sense and the feel from the NBA that we're more accepting than anything. With the NFL, I think they try to project. They don't try. They do. They project the image that we are the man's man league because we're tough. We fight. We hit hard. It took them forever just to accept the concussions. Like they kept denying it. And, they said we're looking at the data and all the other nonsense. Too, money got involved. That's the only time they really listen. So that tells you a lot about the NFL.
Amina?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. Concerning the NFL, the double standards between players and people that work in the office, the coaches or whatever. I think we've discussed this question maybe on the last episode or episode before that maybe. I think it has to do partially with the fact that the NFL is of course conservative, and I also think it has to do with the consider the players a be seen and not heard type of philosophy where we want you to just play, we want you to get these seasons in, we want you to get this team some trophies, some rings, whatever. But we don't want to hear what you got to say. We don't want to know what you think or your opinions. And another thing, also, it has to do with the fact that football has yet to go international as far as on a large scale, like basketball and baseball. So to me, it's at times let's keep what's going on over here in America hush hush, so people on the outside looking in aren't exposed to these matters, so they could just come play football and be silent as well. It's a whole lot of factors, and it's just messed up. And it goes to show what Colin Kaepernick, for instance, uh, the play his teammate that was on the 49ers with him hasn't been signed to a team either. So this the protest movement he started is just not impacting him; it's impacting those who participated directly with him. So that's in itself craziness. But yeah, I will hope and pray that the NFL wakes up and it just gets out of this conservative bag because it's not going anywhere. Got to progress with sports. This is not the 19th or 20th century when football was just getting started. This is the 21st century, moving progressive. Like all the other major sports leagues are moving and progressing. The hockey, baseball, basketball, but football is just lagging behind, and it's ridiculous because this is America's so-called number one sport, but it's not showing that because it's showing that it's at the bottom of the barrel as far as progressive mindsets. So update and upgrade or be left behind, but there is an obvious double standard because coaches can say what they want and nobody thinks nothing of it. But let a player, Colin Kaepernick, back to him for example, let him do or say something, and it's World War III. Like, oh, he did this, he did that. Okay, but if he was a coach or owner or a general manager, there'd be nothing thought of it. Okay, double standard right there. That's the NFL for you.
Okay. Good, good. All right, Matt, do your baseball. Do your on the
For
diamond. Do your diamond call. On the,
for any, this is I'm opening this question up for anyone that for anyone that watch opening the Phillies opening on Thursday. Anyone wants to open on Thursday? My question would be my question would be this: Do you do you think Gabe Kapler overmanaged that game? And my answer to that, honestly, in a way, he did. In a way, here's why. Brandon Aaron Nola, who was the opening starter for the Phillies, went 5 innings, scoreless ball, 5 innings. Now, mind you, I was at work when this was going on. I'm looking at okay, whatever, 5 innings, and then he lifts them after five. Wait. Hold on. One thing you don't do if your pitcher is rolling, you keep rolling. Now, it being opening day, your pitchers don't go as deep as you normally would, say around June, July, August. You know, but hold on. one more inning, at least to the sixth, and then give it to you bullpen. At least give it to you bullpen. But you did not. So that bullpen literally almost fell apart. Not to mention you had throwing error, and you let the Braves back in the game, and they scored 8 unanswered runs. Granted, that was Jay Kapler's first game. However, he really overmatched. Really overmatched. Now, last night he did a little better, but the thing is, my biggest concern is tapping into bullpen a lot early because it looks like if you're not careful, it's going to tax the arms, injuries may persist, and it's too early. It's way too early. Yes, I understand that starters have to get into that groove where it's like, okay, you get 6 innings deep, but even baseball now, starting pitchers aren't going deep like they used to. They're not going 7, 8 innings deep anymore. Just the game's got more compartmentalized than they might do. Sometimes your bullpen needs rest. So I know we'd rather go to game 3 of 162, but still, honestly, this I know when the game of we're in the series, the game of analytics, and I get it. But tapping into that bullpen too much, man. And he has like a what, like 9-man bullpen back there, I think. But still, it's I'm not saying it's a problem, but it can be a problem if this persists. Now, if anybody want to take on the question of if Gabe Kapler overmanaged, be my guest. If not, oh well.
All right, that was Matt's Phillies corner. That's what we're calling it now, the Phillies corner or the baseball corner, whatever. We're gonna call it the baseball diamond. That's what it's gonna be called. See, I finally got you a name, the baseball diamond.
Yeah, I don't know what piece of that too. So
Um, so, uh, all right, we got a bunch of football questions. All right, so we're gonna do these football questions. Then we're gonna end with our final four and championship game picks. All right, y'all. So we were supposed to have a returning Tristiania today. I don't know what happened to her. But uh, what do we think of the DC football teams? Because that's what we call them. We don't call them by their actual name. What do we think of the DC football team's acquisition of Alex Smith? We're like 2 months late on this one, but that's because who cares about that team? But what do y'all think about their acquisition of Alex Smith? I'm starting. It's not going to change anything because the problem with that team wasn't the quarterback, it was the offensive line. And I like Alex Smith, but he has nothing around him. It's essentially like the San Antonio Spurs, how Kawhi Leonard has nothing around him, so he chooses not to play. That's just basically what Alex Smith signed. Even though it was a trade, that's basically what Alex Smith signed himself up for, to be on that team, to be blamed for everything, and to be sacked by Michael Bennett, Fletcher Cox, Tim Jernigan, and a whole lot of other and the rest of that defensive line. I mean, he's in the wrong division, man. If he thought the NFC West was bad, wait until his first game with the Eagles and his first game with the. I don't even like the. I don't even like the Cowboys. I hate to give the devil their due, but they do also have a really, really good defensive line, and they have DeMarcus Lawrence, and he's also a beast. So I don't like the Cowboys, but hey, I'm accessing the sports reporter part of me, and I'm being fair. So there's a lot of good defensive lines, most of them in Philadelphia and Dallas in this division, and we are going to have a field day destroying Alex Smith. But I think it's a good pickup for the. They basically got an older Kirk Cousins. That's what they got, and it's not going to help them because he has nothing around them in DC. But hey, DC. Go ahead, Matt.
I don't know why the hell we talking about the Deadskins for real, for real. But now, since we're here, and I want to really get on Tristiania about this one. Here you go. First of all, the Deadskins are the Deadskins, okay? Number one. Number two, their offensive line is terrible. I mean, just the whole entire Washington franchise is just bad, just bad. And signing Alex Smith doesn't justify the fact that you're doing something. You just threw money at him. Dan Snyder, you idiot. Dan Snyder, you moron. I'm sorry. Throwing money at players does not work, okay? We tried this on many occasions. This doesn't work. You build your team through the draft, okay? That's one of the main places you start there. In fact, hold on. Y'all know y'all need a franchise quarterback, and your defense is suspect, and you're in the toughest division in football, if not one of them. And you, the Washington franchise, expect us to take this group seriously? We're going to take it for a grain of salt and still kick your ass. But to me, it makes the position a little bit better, but not a whole lot better. That's all I got to say on that, because frankly, who's the Washington Redskins? Who they?
Dre, Dre, you there?
Alex Smith signed up for a team. He knew what it was. I don't feel bad for Alex Smith. You know, it's Alex Smith. Like, it's sad to say, but I don't get motivated by anything he does. Like, he's not a great player. To me, he's an okay quarterback. I believe he can get you to the dance, but I'll never think he's going to get you across the finish line. You know, he needs some star receivers. He needs a great offensive line. He doesn't have that. So ultimately, I think their destiny is going to be the same thing it's been. I think Washington is going to get to the playoffs, first round, and kick right out. I don't think they're going any further than the first round. So, you know, I'm kind of happy about that, too. I don't want to see him advance past my team, period. I like to see him challenge my team every now and then so, you know, can bring something better out of my team. But as far as being better, no. So, you know, more power to their losing streak.
To the lady, your thoughts.
Sorry, go ahead, Amina. There she go.
Um, I agree with you said, Kylan, about how he's sort of, from what I see, in a position like Kawhi Leonard, about how he came to a team where it's not really much support or manpower around him. I just hope that he doesn't end up having to hold this team up by himself, because that eventually gets people burnt out, like Kawhi Leonard back to him, and they eventually just choose to sit out. You know, I ain't getting no help, no participation, so why bother? So Mhm.
Okay. So we gonna move on to our next one then. All right, guys. What do we think about the pay discrimination or whatever kind of it is a discrimination lawsuit against the Saints and the fact how they don't pay the cheerleaders equally and their archaic policies as far as apparently this all came out in the New York Times article. The Saints are being sued by a 22-year-old cheerleader for the fact of she got fired for being in the same club as or same restaurant as some of the players of the Saints, which I found which just heard that sounded uh that sounded just like them just like some type of archaic policy that a Southern team would have. No offense to anybody that likes Southern teams. I'm just saying. I'm just that's where we are. We're gonna start since this is a question that relates to women's issues. We're gonna start with the woman. I'm going. We're gonna give Matt some time to get his thoughts together because I do want him to stay alive. So we're gonna give him some time to get his thoughts together. Oh, you want to start? Go ahead then, Matt. Go ahead and start.
Yeah, go ahead.
First things first, I the timing of it was I thought was crazy because Tom Benson just passed away and his wife now owns the team, owns the Saints and the Pelicans. And I thought the timing was uh, we bit off, but it is what it is. Now, as I was reading, understanding the rules of cheerleaders, is the fact that basically cheerleaders and the players they only cannot be in the same room, can't be anywhere near each other. I'm like, hold on, first things first. You are a part of the New Orleans Saints franchise. Alright? I mean part of that I can understand to a degree. Like you don't want the prioritization of players and mixing and you don't want none of this sexual stuff to come out in it or you want that avoid as much as possible. I get it. However, this is the 21st century. This is 2018. And you're telling me, honestly, I don't know the average of cheer in the NFL. I don't know it. But if the franchise is not paying cheerleaders enough, the cheerleaders, that's a problem. If you're having such limited rule, maybe the rules, guidelines, regulations that limits someone from doing their job or pretty much doing anything outside of their job. Another problem is how in the hell you want to come and like shine your light away, you work in this organization, and you say, oh yeah, when you're outside of your job, you can't, outside of the clock, you can't do this and the third. I have a problem with that. So my thing is simply this. If an organization or any company will love to I don't know, I don't understand, I really can't stand the fact that companies, governments, like want to control your every waking life of the fact that you belong to a property, when you belong to an organization and treating like property, it's a problem. It is a huge problem. It's a whole heap of problems. And unfortunately, Tom Benson, unfortunately, because how you look at it, Tom Benson passed away and his wife is running the organization. So, here's what I think it should happen. Should change be made? Absolutely. Should change. It should happen. But should it be immediate? Should it be immediate? Hopefully. However, the way women are treated, particularly in the realm of sports, has got to be better. Has to be a whole lot better. I mean, I think these old men have to understand that the game is over. Time is up, and it's time to pony up, pay up, or just get budge out. Because far as I'm concerned, scoring people, it's it's over. It's over. And to sit here and to look and say, well, the, you know, one rule says, one rule says, if cheerleaders, if a group of cheerleaders, you're chilling, you mind your own business, whatever, and a group of stage players come in, the cheerleaders got to leave. Excuse me, that's a problem. My thing is, if you feel as though you're trying to avoid whatever it is you're trying to avoid, that's a problem. That is a serious problem. That's a problem. Now you know what? I get it, but you could do a better job of just saying, hey, you gotta get out because their team players are much more important. No. Instead, if anything, you could do a better job of saying, you know what, it's a collective. It's a collective. But you know what? There's being yourself, not being stuck in your way, and we continue to stay stuck in your ways for whatever reason. I will not get to it right now because it's a long soliloquy, but the fact of the matter is that this is stupid. This is a black eye for the Saints organization because you know full damn well this ain't right. It's so not right. Now, if anyone will say anything different or say anything otherwise or whatever, you can hit me at small red horn on the Twitter feed, and we can go hash it out, and go ham at it. As far as I'm concerned, this is stupid. And that's why, if anything, I was going to talk about the last thing, but I'm going to say it right now. New Orleans Saints are this week's South of the week.
All right. Go ahead, Andre.
I don't know what in the world is like. What year we in? I always ask this question when we get this stupid kind of treatment from. Here you go again with the NFL. I'm so sick of talking about the NFL, man. I see why a lot of people walked away saying, I'm not watching that crap anymore. Who in the world do New Orleans Saints think they are to treat somebody this way? They treat cheerleaders like they're nothing. But yet and still, you know, they pan the camera on them when they score a touchdown or, you know, they whatever little dumb little celebration they want to do. I think I feel bad for the young lady that had the experiences and go through this, but I like the fact that hopefully this leads to change. So what she went through, nobody else has to go through, or they shouldn't go through. And NBA, and just like the NFL gets in all other business about, you know, when players get a DUI or, you know, whatever kind of legal trouble they get into or domestic trouble, they should get involved in this just as well. They should find a team. They should get the girl a new job, and they should make the New Orleans Saints spokespeople against, you know, women's rights. That is not right to treat women any kind of way. They should do everything that's necessary to clean up this image, this bad image that they're showing right now. So this definitely needs to change, like, instantly. And I don't want to have to talk about this again, like, especially with New Orleans Saints. You know, she was found in a restaurant. So they, like, what in the world? Like, it just, the whole story is just crazy. Like, really? But like Colin said, that's kind of like how Southern schools think, and that's how, you know, Southern men think, and just organizations and systems. You know, so I really hope.
Not all Southern men.
Yeah, not all Southern men. So some are really classy, and some, you know, have evolved past these male chauvinist times. So, you know, who that. I could care who that is unless you change the image.
Amina?
It is the culture of the South to be far behind when it comes to what's the term? Gender equality. um, from what I understand, the cheerleaders on the Saints team are banned from having any type of communication or even saying hi to the actual football players, but the football players can hit up the cheerleaders' phones and they social media and try to hit on them all they want. That's like it's all messed up. And the pay discrimination is typical, Women have had to fight to get equal pay at jobs, whether it's a restaurant, a store, a corporation, for years. Even goes back to the maybe 100 years ago when the feminist era started. And the white women, wanted equal rights as their men. It's truly interesting how they're part of the organization, but they're disregarded because they're not bringing in the big bucks. They're just a distraction on the side of the field for pom poms. But I don't know if this is going on other teams, but to me, it seems to be the Southern culture because I don't see it. I don't see that happening somewhere up here in the north or somewhere out in California. South has yet to break away from mindsets that are old and ancient, and it's obvious with the Saints. But I'm glad she sued to get what's due to her, and I hope this does not expose things going on with the cheerleaders on other teams in the NFL. But it's very interesting how, like Matt said, that the owner of the team just passed not too long ago, like a few weeks ago, like that. And now this just comes out about the team. It's kind of like what's going on with the New Orleans Saints. Y'all got a little scandal going on with it, brewing from what I see.
Yeah, I just want to add some clarification on that. This has been going on for a while. It's just the fact she filed this lawsuit, I think, a year ago,
But it's just getting exposure.
over the summer. It's just getting exposed now, but this has been going on a while. He was actually dealing with this the whole NFL season because she filed it over the summer. So it's been going on a while because they fired her in over the summer. So I just want to be clear that this did not just happen. It's just getting media attention now. Um, uh, everybody said their piece, and I agree with everybody else. So I'm not gonna kill the Saints. We just gonna let the chickens come home to roost because if one team is doing it, there's probably more teams doing it. So we just gonna wait and see what happens with this. All right, guys, so moving right along to another one of our NFL things, and then we will. Oh, we gotta talk about the 2 new rule changes, and then we'll get to the final 4. All right, y'all. So y'all know it's the owners meeting now. So our reaction to the NFL changing the catch rule and admitting that the new catch rules will govern the Eagles' touchdowns in the Super Bowl. And the new rule on targeting. So we're gonna do these last 2 questions right now. Then we'll get to our final 4 picks. So my thoughts on the new NFL catch rule. It's about time. It's about time now we know what a catch is. I thought the Eagles when Clement caught that touchdown, and I don't think anybody outside of Dallas didn't think that the Zach Ertz touchdown was a touchdown. So, but I'm glad that they finally have a new catch rule, and now that's governed in the NFL, so we should be all right. I know them people, some Cowboys fans finally got some much needed fan service because now it's official now that Dez Bryant catch was a catch. Uh, you know, congrats Cowboys fans. You still lost the game, but congrats. I'm happy. I'm happy that they changed the rule. Now for the other one, some people would say this is the sissying of football with this. The fact that they have changed the targeting rule and now you cannot aim for the head and running backs cannot run people over anymore because now that is a 15-yard penalty. It's a shame that the NFL does one good thing and then takes 5 steps back because, it's already bad that the ratings are decreasing. It's not just because of Colin Kaepernick. It's because of automation and other things. But, this is going to lose a lot of viewers because a lot of people watch football for the big hits. And now you're saying that people have to aim for the stomach and they can't go for the head anymore. And now that's a penalty and everything. I mean, we talked about this earlier. The NFL just doesn't learn. It just really cuts off its nose to spite its face. It's a shame. And I am just shocked at the level of ineptitude it takes to do one good rule by saying, all right, this is a catch now. And then a day later say, by the way, we're taking out big hits from football. It's ridiculous. And I'm just shocked. And this is gonna lose a lot more ratings. And you know what's gonna happen? They have a convenient scapegoat in Colin Kaepernick. They'll continue to say it's his fault. The ratings are down. Not our fault for changing the rules and sissying. Some people would say pussifying football. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is that new rule change on targeting is going to lose a lot of people and make a lot of people stop watching football. Go ahead, Matt. Well, before Matt goes, I also know this is a reaction to the concussion thing, and some things are better left not changed. But go ahead, Matt.
Thank God this definition of a thing called a catch. Now, we are a lot to. I'm sorry. We're sorry for the tight end for the Steelers. We're sorry for the Dallas Cowboys who got screwed in Green Bay in the playoffs. So we're sorry for that. Boatload of other receivers who knew they caught the football, thought they understood what a catch was, unfortunately got yanked. So finally to know what a catch is, thank God there's clarity. Because honestly, the way the rule was built, it was like, to me, even as a viewer, it's like, what? You thought, you think, okay, well, this is a catch, and this is, well, that's not a catch, and okay, you're educated on what a catch is, okay, fine, and this is, let's pops up like, that's a catch, no. It takes out, hopefully it takes out the picture. What is a catch, or what constitutes as a catch. We've seen another one, Megatron. Caught the ball in the end zone, made 1, 2, 3 steps, and just was already in zone, just dropped the football. Play over, right? You're thinking, even as a receiver, you're thinking, okay, I made a good understanding to make a constantly like a catch. And it's just taking out the catch. Finally, as a player and a fan, And the coach said, okay, finally, just clarity for once. And man, I'm happy.
Go ahead, Andre. Dre, you there? No. Okay. Go
You,
ahead.
Colin, you calling me? My fault.
Um, yeah. What's your thoughts on the new catch rule and the fact that they changed targeting now? Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a call coming. I like the catch rule. I'm with you on that. That you catch the ball and that you make a football move, and that it initiates the catch. Whether it's you take 3 steps or if you gathering the ball and like pulling it, keeping control. That's great. We know what a catch is. Leave it that way. Don't mess with it, and we're good. Now, as far as the targeting, I think y'all right on with the targeting. This is football, man. It's a dangerous sport. If I had a son, I would not allow him to play it. I would. I honestly wouldn't. I love the game, but I love him more, and that's just that simple for me. And I think President Obama was, he was on point when he said that. This game is brutal, man. Like your A's could get scrambled any minute, or you can be one of the ones that's blessed, and you still have all your marbles when you finish playing the game. But it's the risk you take playing football. Ratings will go down, and I think, like Colin said, it's not just because of Colin Kaepernick. They want to blame Colin Kaepernick. Excuse me. It's it's really because you're so conservative. You're not willing to take a stance on certain issues, and to dive into certain issues. You be better if you were to stand up. So you would gain new viewers if you were to change your model. The only thing constant is change, and the NBA doesn't change enough. They try to stick with this 1950s model in 2018. It's just not going to work. You're going to die, or something better is going to come along, and they're going to take your audience, and they're going to be the number one thing, whether it be the NBA or MLB or MLS or NHL. It remains to be seen, but the NFL definitely has to start making stances and stay with their stances and start, developing new relationships, new partnerships, and not being afraid to speak up for themselves.
Amina?
Concerning this new catch rule, excuse me, concerning this new catch rule that the NFL has, it'll be very interesting to see how it's enforced for the coming season. It's going to start in the fall, and it's different, as you said, Kylan. The NFL, they take, you know, one good step forward and they take several steps back, and how it may benefit the catch piece for games, but in turn, it affects other areas that it may not be a good thing. But people have had games where the ball wasn't exactly, some people say, wasn't caught right, they fumbled, all that. So maybe or maybe not, this rule will help settle debates. And from how they came up with this catch rule, or what it states, games that were lost should have been won. based on this catch rule, as you said, and it'll be very interesting. This game is football is the most dangerous sport out there, and I guess they want to protect, I guess, in their own way, concussions without saying it, because they put in the piece with you can't come, hurt their neck up. But they need to be straightforward, honest about the CTE aspect. And they should have been, when Aaron Hernandez died last April. Putting headpieces into the rules and stuff rather than speaking directly about CTE. It's messed up. But as others have said, if I had a son or sons, they wouldn't be playing football. They could play baseball, soccer, basketball, but I wouldn't let them play football, especially with the way the NFL is going right now. But this new catch rule, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it'll be challenged.
All right, y'all. So let's go to what we're all wondering about. Starting the day, it's the Final Four, which shifts to San Antonio. So let's go with our picks, man. We're gonna go with our picks. I think in all of our brackets, we all picked. Most of us picked Villanova in the championship game. So my picks are. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shock a lot of people. I'm gonna go with the chalk in the Villanova Kansas game. I'm gonna be a homer, pick Nova because I have them in the championship game. So Villanova and it's going to be Villanova. And shockingly, I am not going with the chalk. I'm going with Loyola Chicago to be the first double seeded team to make it to the championship game. I think Loyola Chicago will have another Cinderella run that won't end until they face the beast from the main line. They're not a Philly team. From the main line in Villanova. So Villanova, Loyola is my game Monday night with Villanova as champions. Go ahead, Matt.
First of all, they're in the Big Five, so hush your face. Number two, I'm not jumping that bandwagon, that Loyola Chicago bandwagon. And defensively, they're playing like as if they already fully as far as scoring. So one, I'm thinking Loyola Chicago, and Villanova because yes, I'm taking the home route, and because I think Villanova is a better team versus Kansas, and Nova will win it all. Next,
Dre?
Well, surprisingly, me and Colin agree. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Villanova, and
Mina, go ahead.
I got nothing to say about this. We can go to the next question.
Oh, that's right. She doesn't watch college football. That's right. Yeah. So you know what? We'll save Odell till next week. Actually, you know what? All right, y'all. Give me y'all quick like 2 minute reaction to this. Odell Beckham possibly getting traded. It doesn't shock me because he's been doing the most off the field, and I think the last straw for the Giants was when he got caught with a white substance, and we know the last person to get caught with a white substance was Lawrence Taylor in the Giants locker room, and they haven't had a problem with cocaine in their locker room since then. So, just like Lawrence Taylor, he's going to get traded. Is it right? No, but this is what happens when you are dumb and you do too much. So, sorry, not sorry, Odell. Go ahead, Matt.
in short, he's going to get traded. Why? He's OBJ. The old, yeah, he's gonna be back. But play safe. The Giants are a very crappy organization, and they're not going to put up with it. So send it to the Jacks.
Oh, hold up. We forgot one. The other reason he's going to get traded, other than that, is because he wants $20 million a year, and nobody's paying that man $20 million a year.
Oh hell no! Look, who in their crazy right mind would pay a receiver 20 mil? I would not, unless your name is Jerry Rice. No, 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 and no. If anything, if anything, I'll give him 15 just for 1 year. 20 kick rocks.
Go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's gonna definitely be traded. When you get involved with drugs, most teams don't put up with it, and the Giants are no strangers to it. Odell got smart enough and wise up, and stop thinking you bigger than the game, man. Like, come on, man, just a black player, man. Like, just do your job, and you'll be good. So he don't deserve to be there anymore after messing up like he did the last time. But bring him to Philadelphia, baby. Shoot, listen. You could never have too many stars. If you ask me. What'd you say?
You gonna lost your damn mind. Don't you bring that mess to Philly. Oh hell no, we're good. We got Mike Wallace. We're good. We got Nelson Aguilar.
But Odell Beckham is in his prime, man. You're not gonna take a player that's in his prime?
No. We're good.
That's the most. No, I disagree. I totally disagree.
We're good. Nope. Send him to Cleveland. Nope.
Matt, you could just be his. You could be his chaperone. You go with him everywhere. Make sure he stay on the right track.
I ain't no damn babysitter.
I mean, the
Yes, you are. You gonna like it.
The New Orleans Saints and the Oakland Raiders could use him. Let's get Amina's thoughts on that. Go ahead, Amina. You want your Raiders to take him?
No. I don't want anything from.
Y'all look good for characters. The Oakland Raiders is great. It's like y'all are the rebels of the NFL. It's perfect. Other than John Gruden, it's gonna love them.
Shut it. Anyway, no, I don't want that nowhere near my team. I don't even like the Giants. I don't want their sloppy seconds. Anyway, yeah, he's
Not
gonna get.
sloppy, man. It's not sloppy second. You got need a better receiver than Jordy Nelson.
These sloppy seconds. But anyway, like I said, I don't want
Amina, why
that.
y'all let go of that punter?
I'm talking right now. But anyway, um, Odell Beckham, he's gonna have to go. The Giants, from what I see, they're trying to gut and rebuild, and they need to. Cause they did. They finished last in the NFC East this past season. They didn't get good at all. So he's going to go. Cause like kind of said, the last person that did something was a white powder in a Giants locker room. You ain't heard from them much since. And New York, they don't typically want to be represented by that type of riffraff. So he'll be going. Most likely to a team that's doing worse than them. So he bought it on himself. And as for my team, as far as Andre's question, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. You asking me, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying on that the Eagles just lost their reliable punter, and that's a commodity, a black punter. I think the Eagles. I know me and Amina were talking about this offline yesterday. The Eagles could definitely use him. We'll take him. We'll take him off your hands. Marquette King, not Odell Beckham. Just to be clear, Marquette King, not Odell Beckham. Just to be clear. So all right. So that does it for episode 77. We did it in just under 2 hours. Well, we did it in 2 hours. But we are, like I said, we enjoy your support. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow us at Kyler W. Watson, at Small Red Hornets, Matt's Twitter channel, at _ Andre Terry. Don't know Aminas. Check out WatsonSportsTakes.com. Check out the previous episodes, of course. Like we said, comment. It's a problem. A lot of y'all, we enjoy your support, but we also love you to comment. Tell us what you agree with, disagree with, whatever. Like I said, you can hit us up in real life, but you could also like put some comments in the comment section. Let us know what you feel. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. It's kind of operating blind. We thank you for the increase in viewership, though. Thanks for the support. Enjoy the rest of your Holy Week, Resurrection Sunday. Tomorrow, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the first weekend in April. I want to thank Amina, Andre, and Matt for coming out. And we can't wait to do it again next week. So have a great weekend. Deuces.